Hoxus, also known as Hoxus 04b, is a scorched, broken planet orbiting the blue star of Creus. A planet known for its extremely rich material deposits, its breathtaking wildlife, and its relentless hostile environment. Only a planet like this could hold one of the most fascinating creatures I've ever had the pleasure of investigating. Say hello to the LootBug. The LootBug is a grub-like creature found in every single biome known to date inside Hoxus. A creature so simple, and yet so interesting. You see, the LootBug might not seem like a lot, but if you really think about it, how has the LootBug managed to survive at all? If we look closer at the LootBug, you will see a total of 6 round, front-facing eyes, a very squishy body, and a completely pacific lifestyle. Now, this in any other regular moon or planet wouldn't really stand out. Just another regular bug. But in an environment as dangerous as Hoxus, being this big and vulnerable is what some will classify as express extinction. And yet, that is not the case. Very far from it actually, for you see, the LootBug is not only found in every single environment, something a lot of species simply cannot do, but also he remains completely unfocused by the local, very hostile wildlife. How does he do it? Well, it's actually much more interesting than you think. The LootBug's survival and dominance over Hoxus is all thanks to 3 factors: their diet, their reproduction, and let's just say some help. Let's begin with the first topic, their diet. A LootBug's diet focuses exclusively on minerals like nitra and gold. This is very convenient in a planet known for its rich minerals like Hoxus. But as nature dictates, to eat, you must be able to be eaten. Well, the LootBug is too cool for that, because thanks to its diet of raw minerals and nasty soil, when a predator goes for the bite, its maw will encounter a solid, very inconveniently placed chunk of mineral. This will not only inflict extreme pain, but also will let the enemy know that he is in fact inedible, and that it should leave. This is why the LootBug goes completely unnoticed by predators in the area. By being such a fragile, moving sack of rocks, there is no reason to eat the LootBug, meaning that the LootBug just won life, right? Well, yes, but not exactly. There is another thing that the LootBug needs to do to ensure its species' legacy and survival, and that is reproduction. And let's just say, LootBugs are not quite good at it. The LootBug is, as I said earlier, a fragile, moving sack of rocks, making it so that reproduction is almost impossible. Their vision is pretty bad, usually relying on their senses to find minerals, and the environment isn't really helping much either. So then, sure, the LootBug is alive, but thanks to this discrepancy, it will disappear eventually. And this is where we come in. The presence of dwarf kind in Hoxus is what truly made the LootBug become the master of survival it currently is. If you have worked at, or at least heard of, Deep Rock Galactic, You might be confused by this sentiment, for the workers at DRG tend to kill almost every single bug in sight. That's to say, not all of them. There are definitely some lootbug lovers and bug plant enjoyers. But a huge margin of dwarves shares the motto, kill anything with more legs than two. Which translates to bad news, especially for the lootbug. But didn't we say that they received some help? Well, yes, and that's because they did. When a lootbug is hungry, it will use its smell, eyesight, or touch to find a piece of mineral. This allows the lootbug to locate its main source of food and perhaps, maybe, find a romantic partner, since multiple lootbugs probably detected the same chunk of mineral. Once the mineral gets consumed, the lootbugs go back to searching for food, and so the cycle repeats. This explains the lack of lootbugs before dwarves truly settled in the Hox's atmosphere, because it wasn't until the dwarves started to leave minerals all around the floor and inside conveniently placed holes that lootbugs could truly interact and reproduce together. Every time a lootbug dies, it voluntarily explodes to spread as many minerals around the area as possible. This will allow for multiple lootbugs to focus in only one area, and therefore reproduce faster and more efficiently. So yes, every dead lootbug and unfinished mining has led to dwarves unknowingly transforming the lootbug into the perfect specimen to ever exist inside of Hox's. And that's just beautiful. And at the same time, really funny if you think about it. Before leaving, I would just like to share this rare golden lootbug sighting I had the other day. Look at it. It's majestic. The soft glow and the golden color truly make this a sight to behold. Absolutely magnificent. Fun fact, the existence of the golden lootbug proves of the existence of a nitra lootbug. It's gotta be somewhere in Hox's, but nitra is usually a more important mineral than gold, so that might be the reason why it hasn't showed up yet. But imagine, truly fantastic. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Deep Rock Documentaries. See you next time. I'm your host, Rock TornBanner, and
Rock and Stone!